That's fair. I can see that.
Like it's just me and you then, mate.
Yeah, I can still hear you. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you and game.
Oh, and by the way, real quick before you get set up here, I've been meaning to ask you, but I always forget. Do you mind if people call you Tim on stream, or would you prefer Ploppy?
No, that's fine. What's your name, by the way?
Manning.
Abel's in there. Yeah, good evening. If you can hear me okay. Oh no, we're over here, Anna. There we go. Mic in the wrong place. If you can hear me, just give us a boom in the chat. Sure, we're all set up. Hopefully everything's working correctly. Now it's better. Excellent. Lynn can hear me. Excellent. Thank you very much. Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to the live stream. This is your first time here. I make weekly videos on Mass Effect. We do a weekly live stream as well. We've got Cerberus Guy coming in with us in a moment. And then I think we'll open it up to the rest of the public and we'll get started. Here we go. Hope everyone's doing well. Gabriel's in the chat. How are we doing? Lynn's in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Hope you have a nice weekend. Okay. Jumpy Popcorn's there. Hiding in the background. Nice to see you.
Hey, can you still hear me, Tim?
I can still hear you. You still
Okay,
hear me?
that's hilarious. That's all it was.
Mission settings. Zip that to public. And I think I'll start off with the Edie. This is good. I hope and having a good weekend. Yeah, I am actually. Thank you very much. Yeah, we've had the fairs in town at the moment, so yeah, we took the girls to go on a few rides on the Dodgems, which was all good fun. Gabriel says, does anything change if you give the intel on Cerberus to the Shadow Broker? Like not trying to give his body to the collectors or anything at all. And the only thing that changes is that in Mass Effect 3 you'll either fight the the Reaper Heart or the Reaper Brain, depending on which one you give. If you, it's like destroy the base, isn't it? Foxy Fensum says hello. How you doing? I've been well. Yeah, I have been well actually. Thank you very much. It's all been good. Hope you're doing well as well. I bet they both enjoyed it. Yeah, they did actually. Yeah, they made me go up a massive helter skelter as well, and I'm not good with heights. So yeah, I was quite scared of going up there, but they had to make me go down this slidey thing with them. So that was fun. But the dodgems, I really loved the dodgem. I haven't been on dodgems for years. I think I had more fun.
Well, that's kind of like last time I was in London. I don't know if it's true, but someone told me that giant Ferris wheel, one of the cars has a glass floor, and that thing I'd ever heard.
Yeah. I don't know if I've actually been. I'm not good with heights at all. So yeah, to get me in one of those is next to impossible.
We need this location taken back. This area is unsecured. Get down there and engage the enemy. Acknowledged.
Okay, so for anybody that's new here, we just muck about for an hour and a half, and I try to stay off the floor as much as possible, which doesn't happen very often. Oh, one thing I did want to ask is that is everybody still happy with the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer? Does anybody want to see some like Andromeda instead? I mean, I'm not too keen on the Andromeda multiplayer, but people are getting bored with this. I can understand. Oh, that was the wrong one. Lynn hates heights as well, so I'm on my own. I prefer Mass Effect 3. I enjoy war. To be fair, I mean, I did try it once on stream, probably about 6 months ago. The Andromeda thing, I really just didn't like it. I think it's because there's not as many enemy variety types, or there's a lot of jumping around. Oh, so you don't hate war. So you don't enjoy war. Completely understand.
Well done, team. Enemy is regrouping. Here they come.
Understood. Hostiles. Shields gone.
Looks like we've got somebody else joined us. So, I normally try and pick a topic for conversation. This week's video I'm working on is a bit of a community video. if you've not seen it already, head over to the community tab and take a vote on the poll that's in there. It's basically which character you think is the worst character in Mass Effect. So I picked 5 characters that generally seem to get the most hate.
We're clear.
And yeah, have a vote on it. Leave a comment, because I'm putting some of the comments from the chat in there that will be used in the video. So if you want to have a chance of your video being your comment being shown.
The intel from local server.
But yeah, for this evening, if we, I mean, the characters I chose were Ashley, Jacob, Kai Lang. Who else was I pick?
We don't have much time to complete the mission.
Jacob, Kai Lang. Trying to think, so I just made the thumbnail for it. Oh, James.
And Miranda, I think.
Miranda, thanks. Companions or any character. Yeah, they're the ones that I chose for the poll. Obviously, the Cerberus guy thinks that Caden should have been on there. I definitely think, I know that he probably wasn't impressed with Kai Lang being on there.
Well, I 100% understand why Kai Lang's on the list. I just personally love him.
I was looking out for your comment, to be honest.
Oh, my comment was there.
Not James. See, there's been quite a few people that said not James, actually.
James is a bro. I don't know how anyone can hate him.
I think for me, I don't hate the guy. I don't tend to use him that much because I've got too much of a bond with the rest of the characters.
Here they come. Copy that.
I think James exists because for people who never played the other games, so they
Yeah.
just kind of made a generic dude who could like be the audience if you had no idea what was going on.
I mean, it's a good idea in theory, isn't it? Really, to make a character that has no idea what's going on the same as a player, a new player that has no idea what's going on. So, but yeah, for that reason, I've seen quite a few people don't like him because people just think he's a bit of a meathead. What was the reporter's name? Oh yeah, Diana Allers. Maybe I should have included her actually.
Squad member has flatlined.
Definitely gets a lot of hate. Useless and
Well,
annoying.
at least with Diana, there's a pretty mean thing you can do to her in game if you want to get revenge for it, or if you hate her or whatever.
I mean, you don't have to recruit her, do you? You can send her off to.
Enemy forces down to
No, but you can have a one-night stand with her and then kick her off the ship.
all clear. Good work. Enemy is regrouping. Time to reload. Here they come. Copy that. Pick your target.
Coos says James is a great character, is an interesting arc, and some personality. Apologies if I just butchered your name as well, by the way.
I think the thing with James was it was pretty impressive that BioWare took what's basically a Jersey Shore character and made them interesting.
He's a meathead, but he was my meathead. Can't you? I think you can romance him in the Citadel DLC, can't you? Or does he get some with someone else? Does he get with Ashley or something? Was it Miranda? It might be Miranda. I'm sure he. If you don't.
He can romance Ashley if she's still alive, and it's also possible for a female shepherd to romance him, but it's kind of gross.
Why is it gross? I've never done it.
Because you have to get him really drunk and then basically force him into bed.
Oh, right. Not bad, that's the first time we've gone down in, like... It's like 20 minutes.
Squad member offline.
Yeah.
Squad member down.
So I'd like to do a poll for, the best character in the game, but I think I might have to leave Garrus out of it because he's just going to win it hands down.
That's all of them. Good work.
Any best of poll is just going to be either Garrus or Tally.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I have to leave Tally out of it all.
Breaking enemy personnel are on site. Locate the targets and terminate.
Copy that.
Somebody did put in a comment about Kai Lang.
Target out of play. Nice.
Um,
New enemy target spotted.
what they should have done is had him as a Cerberus crew member in Mass Effect 2, so that when you meet him in Mass Effect 3, he obviously didn't defect and he's still with Cerberus, and
Priority. Take him out.
it will give you a bit more of a personal stake against him.
New target has been spotted.
Yeah, I've been mentioning that for a while, especially if you know his backstory. He was already in Cerberus in 2185.
Down. Good work. Last target is in play. Go get him.
A proper missed opportunity there, I think.
Targets are down. Mission accomplished.
They could have made him a romance option too, because by that point he was already broken up with his other girlfriend.
This is from the books, is it?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to spoil anything, so I was intentionally being vague.
Oh, right. Okay,
But
so
his ex is a character in Mass Effect 3.
oh, is it Brooks?
That's one of like 6 names she goes by, but yes.
Yeah. Rasha or something.
Yeah, Rasa, Hope Lilium, Captain Channing, there's a bunch more.
Gabriel says it would have been really funny to see James romance Rex.
Enemy is
Been
down
very
to one.
odd, I think, but
Top march, team. Enemy is regrouping. Time to reload.
was it Kai Lang that put a novel in the character in the novels? Yes. Yeah, I
Brooks
really
is
need to-
another character like Lang who's in a bunch of novels and comics who has a bunch of backstory that they never touch on in the game.
The novels came out before the game as well, didn't they? It's not like they were written after Mass Effect 3. It was.
It depends on the novel. I think, I could be wrong, but I know Mass Effect 2 came out in January 2010, and the first novel, Redemption, came out in July, I think, 2010.
Yeah, but it's 2012, wasn't it, for Mass Effect 3?
Yeah.
So you kind of understand it if like the game came out first and then they wrote a book that's like a prequel that had, you know, they didn't have the opportunity to reference it. And Take to Nose in the house. How you doing? But it was Saturday. No problem, mate. No problem. If you're up for a game, we've still got 2 slots open.
Squad member needs help.
Kai Lang's introduction novel did come out way before Mass Effect 3, yeah. Okay, so yeah, they could have referenced it in the game and expanded on it, really. It is a shame that they didn't use him to his full potential, because he could have been a lot, you know, quite a formidable
Enemy
opponent.
force approaching.
I think somebody else said in the comments that all he does is just, he hides behind a gunship and has plot armor.
Well, exactly. I mean, if you only know him from Mass Effect 3, he's super boring. My girlfriend just calls him anime Keanu Reeves.
It does make me think of that guy in Cyberpunk. See, I tried Cyberpunk. I played for about 2-3 hours. I really just could not get into it. It's strange because I absolutely love The Witcher 3. And I really thought that I was going to love Cyberpunk, but...
Well, they're both RPGs, but they're not exactly the same game.
No. But I mean, they did the storytelling with the Witcher games. I mean, I'm a huge Witcher fan. And yeah, you think you're gonna get, you know, the kind of quality and, you know, the story that you're gonna get. What you would expect.
Some good work down there.
All clear.
Enemy is still active. Stay alert. Enemies approaching.
Engaging.
Tell you what, I am hooked on at the minute. Is a game called Encased.
Lost shield.
Dragon Age?
No, Encased. It's a CRPG.
Member offline.
Yeah, it's like an isometric RPG set in a post-apocalyptic. A bit like Wasteland 2, I suppose. It's
Offline.
there's some really funny dialogue in that. Different options that you can choose. And oh, come on! I was using my thingy then.
Squad member needs help.
Lynn's hooked on LA Noir at the time, at the moment. Bought it a decade ago, but only started playing it last week. Yeah, I played it when it first came out. Must admit, I quite enjoyed it, actually.
That game has Garrus's voice actor in it too.
Does it?
I forget his character's name, but yeah, he's one of the other detectives.
Kylan was cool in the book. He was introduced in Retribution. Then it became Turo OC. Mass Effect 3. I'm going to show you my complete ignorance there. I have no idea what that means. Lynn said that they thought that the voice sounded familiar.
Only one more enemy.
Takes it now. I completely agree with it. Oh, where on earth have you gone? This guy just fell through the floor. I'm a complete story-driven gamer. That's for sure. This is the only multiplayer I actually play.
Our data centers are not transmitting. Find them and power them up.
Roger. On the move.
Device online.
Oh, I thought he was doing it. There's one thing that I've always wondered though,
Cover me.
is that like story-driven games where you can play like on an easy mode or you play on a hard mode.
Go. Stay on it.
I tend to play
Flatlined.
on an easier mode because, well, as you can see from my
Team member has gone dark.
my performance here, I'm not very good at combat.
Squad member has flatlined.
But then, if you do play on an easy mode, do you miss out on story elements because like your characters can't die, they only get knocked out or something like that?
Squad member has flatlined.
Oh, this is not good.
Yeah, I ran out of Metagel.
Squad member down.
Oh, that's it. Beating us. Considering, yes, I will do in a minute. I'm just going to get a drink because
Short. Final
I left my drink in the other room.
returning to base.
Right back. Okay, sorry about that. We get rid of this mission setting. Back to private. Oh, actually, we don't need to kick him, do we? Alright, let's choose somebody else. Who will go?
Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you. Shockwave. Yeah, let's go with the N7 Paladin.
I
Liz
just
like
realised that Tim's back, but I can't hear him. Or you, Cerberus Guy, if you're saying anything.
Hear me now? Oh no, I'm still. It's because I'd hit my mute button, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Well, I can't hear you, Cerberus Guy, if you just said something.
Okay, so around 90% of my games did play with story based. Read.
Oh, you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
Sorry,
we
I
can
turned
hear
my
you now.
mic off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, did you join? I didn't see if you joined or not.
Yeah, I did join, don't worry.
Oh, okay. So we just got into game and see if you'd join the group.
We just lost an important target. This zone needs to be locked down. Incoming hostile forces.
I honestly agree about the Batarian squad mate, to be honest. I think it would be great to show some of the non-council races in a crew.
Definitely.
Even if all they did was put it in like the Omega DLC.
Yeah, just have like Bray as a squad mate or something.
I don't think they use the Batarians as much as they should have done.
Well, I forget if it was here, but I swear I heard somewhere that there was supposed to be a Batarian in Mass Effect 2, but then after the Arrival DLC, they took it out, so it would be, because they thought it would be a conflict of interest.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be an engineer, wasn't there? But they turned. Oh, who was it? Supposed to be an engineer that was quite good at something else, but then they made that into another character instead. I don't think who they made them into.
Clean sweep. Well done. Stay alert. Enemy is
I'm
Why
not
no-
sure.
Garrus's squad on Omega had a Batarian engineer, or a Batarian hacker. I
Yeah.
wonder if that's what happened to him.
Yes.
Honestly, hearing about some of the ideas that they were throwing around for Mass Effect 2, it is kind of sad hearing about the ones they didn't use, but I'm still happy with a lot of the ones they did use.
Well, speaking of ideas in Mass Effect 2, what did you guys think of the whole forcing you to work with Cerberus thing? Because I remember a lot of people being mad about that when it first came out.
I never
I'm not
really
gonna
bothered.
lie, when I first played Mass Effect 2, I didn't do any of the Cerberus side missions in Mass Effect 1, so I didn't realise they were even bad in the first place. So yeah, it was kind of a shock to me when they turned out to be very bad in Mass Effect 3.
Stay close to keep it moving.
I think that was the thing, at least in Mass Effect 2, they were kind of morally grey, but they just turned them into Saturday morning cartoon villains in the third game.
Yeah, I think I liked it when they were more mysterious.
Oh no. Things happened to the stream.
At the same time, though, didn't it make it clear that basically since Mars, Cerberus was indoctrinated anyway? Because we saw them as husks.
Sorry, what was that?
I was just saying, like, didn't they basically reveal that on Mars, Cerberus was already indoctrinated? Because, like, they uncover the mask of one of the troops, and it's got, like, a husk or something.
Yeah, they were using implanting Reaper tech. They weren't technically husks, but they were somewhere halfway between.
Ah, right. It was only a matter of time then, really.
That's already odd.
Again, I think that was kind of lazy writing, because I think they could have done something more with Cerberus in the third game, rather than just them being just as bad as the Reapers, but kind of different.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool if, like, as a renegade, you could join Cerberus's approach to defeating the Reapers or something, and, you know, do more questionable things.
Yeah, or even, this is going to sound really stupid, but even the way they did it in Mass Effect Risk I thought was brilliant. I don't know if anyone else but me's ever played that.
No, I've never actually tried that, actually. I've always wanted to play a Risk game, to be honest.
Yeah, so what it is there's two Alliance armies that are trying to get everything they need to build the Catalyst, and then there's two Reaper armies trying to destroy everything, and then there's one Cerberus, oh stupid husk. There's one Cerberus army that's just looking to collect resources, and I forget 100% what they're trying to build, but it's basically just if Cerberus can get enough resources before the Alliance or Reapers win, they're able to control the Reapers, and then that's how the Cerberus player wins.
See, that would have been a great lead into the control ending, I think.
Oh, no. Hiding in the wrong place there, too busy looking at the chat.
Enemy is regrouping.
I swear I got eaten by 35 abominations that round.
Enemy force approaching.
They must have been hungry.
Because of which the Cerberus had a bigger part in the first game, they were going to be so important in Mass Effect 2.
I don't think they knew Cerberus was going to be important, though, did they? Like, we don't really know that.
I wouldn't have thought so, no. I like how that their events are not just ignored, though. Like, yeah, we're making you work with them, but characters are still going to point out that can't you remember the horrible experiments that you helped, you know, stop?
I do think in general, though, they didn't use the Elusive Man enough in the third game. I think It's a shame he's not in it as much.
Clean sweep. Well done. Enemy forces at half
I mean, they did at least use him when he was needed. You know, like on the Mars interaction and the Cerberus occupation of the Citadel.
I think the biggest thing for the third game with me is you can just tell parts of it are rushed.
Yeah, but it doesn't help when EA comes to you and says they need the game a year earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like, it's just like, I remember at the end of the second game, I thought the decision to save or destroy the collector base was going to be like the biggest thing ever. And in the end, it doesn't, unless you somehow manage to have less than 1500 EMS in the third game, it literally never doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, I'm also kind of annoyed about the reverse on the whole Rachni thing as well. Like, you get the mission regardless of if you saved them or not.
Hi there, Curtis. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Lavender Sky has a theory that Mass Effect 2 was about Harbinger testing Cerberus and the Elusive Man as a potential replacement for the Collectors. Good theory.
Squad member has flatlined.
Elusive Man
Certainly
still...
interesting.
He was still in control of his own mind by Mass Effect 2. I think probably the events of Mass Effect 2 is what made the Reapers step up their control of him.
I've kind of got my own headcanon about the Reapers and Shepard, like how when he's doing the whole, or when Shepard's doing the whole run to the beam thing, I kind of think that the Reapers are kind of half letting Shepard get there because they're kind of interested to see if Shepard can actually beat them.
I like that.
That's a good idea.
They've repeated the cycle more times than you can fathom, and nobody's actually ever stopped them. So for
Yeah, so you can imagine they'd have a bit of an ego.
yeah,
Well, they say that in Mass Effect 1 too, don't they? When Sovereign kind of speeds up how fast you normally would have done things because he just doesn't care anymore.
Genuinely tried to charge to a guy who was closer to you.
Lavender Sky says, if you notice, Saren started out relatively in control and over time was motivated to implant himself, just as Elusive Man did. That's right, because I think it's by the end of the first Revelations book that Saren comes into contact with Sovereign, and that's 20 years before the events of Mass Effect 1.
Well, that's where the Elusive Man got his eyes anyway.
Yeah.
As much as I do really like the Mass Effect comics, though, I do feel like they should have made an issue that's just about a character we've never heard of. Like, I don't know, there's something a bit more interesting about hearing about a completely different character.
Well, there was Ferron. I mean, they gave him a bit of a cameo in Mass Effect 3, but the comics do, you know, tell a lot of his story. You don't
Yeah,
really see
isn't
him.
that the? Isn't it the one where Liara's the focus though?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like she's the Drell that double crosses her and ends up working with her.
Yeah, I suppose it does add some backstory to Farron, I guess. I just mean, there's a Dragon Age comic I was reading recently because I got like a graphic novel for my birthday or something, and there was a specific issue where there's just these two people who are mercenaries or something who hunt mages, or hunt blood mages,
Alright.
and it's just interesting, like hearing about the whole Inquisition thing from their point of view.
See, I've never read any of the Mass Effect comics because they set a definitive canon, which doesn't always align with the choices that I've made. Oh, what happened there? Like, I'd like to read the books up until Dragon Age 1 because that's like the prequel stuff. But then the comics that are set between Dragon Age 1 and Dragon Age 2, I think they have Alistair as the king. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I kind of got that as well. It was really weird as well because during one of my playthroughs, where Alistair's a Templar, he references the events of one of the comics, where it makes him king as default. It's really strange.
Enemy is still active. Stay alert.
If there's a more annoying enemy than Scions in any game, I don't think I could handle it.
I mean, I can just imagine any enemy in Dark Souls being more tough.
Team member is hurt.
I didn't say tougher, I said more annoying.
Squad member in
I'm just not with it right now.
Lavender Sky says the only DLC that feels like DLC and not something that should be part of the main game was Amiga. Amiga. Oh, run away. Not run into them.
Team member has gone dark.
I can agree with that. Like, Omega definitely feels more like a DLC than the others in Mass Effect 3. I mean, Citadel still kind of does, but it also feels like it adds stuff that the original game should have had.
Yeah. I mean, the whole Eden Prime, where you get Yavik. I mean, he's like a main part of the main game. I'm really surprised with it. They put that as day one DLC.
Yeah. It is a bit, it is definitely a shame that they did that, but, you know, at least new players now get to play all the DLC.
Yeah, that's true. There's one Cerberus character that Lavender Sky always found interesting, and that was the general dude in charge of Omega. He just seemed loyal to humanity, not Cerberus. Yeah, if he's in the comics as well. He has a really... He is like more of a general, isn't he? More out than just a Cerberus lackey.
But Petrovsky hated the Alliance too, which is why he joined Cerberus in the first place.
There are a few things as well that you see in like videotapes or logs and stuff about Cerberus. You know, like I don't know, just you hear about all these things that you just wish you could have seen in a cutscene or something. Like, wouldn't it have been so much better if we get to see the whole Cerberus soldiers being turned into, you know, husks or whatever, like, or if we got to see the whole thing that happened with Sanctuary.
I wouldn't have mind seeing a cutscene or more logs of everything that happened between Kai Lang, David Anderson, and Kaylee Sanders on Omega.
What happened between them and Omega? That's probably one of the books I haven't read.
That's, yeah, Redemption. That was when the whole Paul Grayson story arc, when everyone was looking for his daughter.
Looking for whose daughter, sorry?
Grayson's daughter. She's the biotic kid that they hid on the Quarian fleet, like the Tally talked about, the human biotic.
Oh, right, yeah. I need to read that one.
Yeah, it's when you first meet Tally on the Mass Effect 2, innit? They, is it Cal Riga? Say that it works for Cerberus and they tried to infiltrate the flotilla. That's referencing one of the books.
I do wish they did more with Cal Riga as well. Isn't he kind of just absent from the third game?
Yeah, doesn't if he survives Mass Effect 2, doesn't he just die? You get like an email that he died saving some Turian civilians or something.
Yeah. It's just another thing as well that I think could have been a great side mission or something where you help him with that. And he could die, but he could also live.
Oh, Wave 10.
That's the same thing with Emily Wong too.
Yeah, I didn't even know about the whole killing her on Twitter thing or whatever that was.
Well, yeah, in the game, you just find out that she crashed her van into a Reaper to let some people escape.
I heard that they mentioned that on like a Twitter campaign on the lead up to the game coming out or something.
They might have, but I never heard about that.
Yeah. I mean, I can't verify it because I wasn't a fan of the game around that time. I came into it very, very late. I can even tell you, actually. I know it was a few years before Legendary came out. What's that about the G.I. Joe vibe that Lynn's talking about?
Sorry, what about G.I. Joe?
Lynn in the chat saying something like, I caught those, I think it lends to the G.I. Joe vibe. I'm not quite sure what they're talking about.
A strategic area has been compromised. Hostile forces will attempt to stop you. Lock the area down.
Is Tim talking? Because I can't hear him.
No.
Oh, right.
I was reading the chat. Petrovsky was reminding them of G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe villain.
I haven't seen many of the G.I. Joe movies, but I did try that Snake Eyes one. I just found it quite cheesy, if I'm being honest.
Oh, it was definitely cheesy.
Some good work down there. Enemy is regrouping. Time to reload. Enemies inbound.
Got it.
But yeah, Redemption's definitely a novel worth reading if you want to get a lot more backstory. Because especially in Mass Effect 3, Anderson talks about highlighting a bunch. Like, basically that novel is just the two of them fighting all over the galaxy. It's kind of interesting. It's a lot of backstory for both characters.
Squad member down.
Yeah, I think it's great to get more on Anderson. I think because I don't know, he does seem to take a backseat in a lot of the games.
Especially in 2. You have that
Yeah,
one
I think you still
conversation.
just get
that's
one
it.
conversation. Yeah, one.
Yeah, one conversation where he calls you a terrorist and then says, I can't tell you anything because you're working for Cerberus.
I don't think he calls Shepard a terrorist. I think he just says that Cerberus is a terrorist. I don't quite remember, actually.
Enemies down. Good shooting.
Or maybe it's something to do with one of the choices you made, I don't know.
I know his dialogue's completely different if the Council's dead.
Find and disable the target.
I can't remember the exact quote, but I know if the Council's dead, he asks you something like, what the hell are you doing working for them, or something like that.
Device down.
I like the way that you can call him out though.
Running low.
You can say, you know, you had Caden or Ashley on Horizon spied on me. It's like, yeah, we got tipped off that you were there and wanted to see if it was really you.
They got me.
Squad member down.
Oh, I thought they were on their own mission to protect the colony or something.
No, if you listen to what the Elusive Man says after the mission on Horizon, he says that he let a couple tidbits of info sleep, hinting that you might still be alive.
Squad member needs help.
Then he does seem to have completely forgiven you at the start of Mass Effect 3. He's even putting a good word for you so you don't get completely court-martialed.
I think he's right to be suspicious, though. I mean, I don't really get why people get so annoyed about Ashley or Caden being so suspicious of Shepard, because Shepard was literally rebuilt by Cerberus. You know, it must be hard to trust someone who was, brought back from scratch almost. Yeah, and dead.
Yeah. That's
Dead.
true, but I would say Caden takes it a lot better than Ashley does.
Enemy.
I thought they had the
Which
same
is
dialogue.
surprising considering. Yeah, that's actually initially thought that as well.
Headshot.
Team member has gone dark.
I'm here.
I always thought the funny thing was, given how Ashley is in Mass Effect 1 and she doesn't trust anyone who's not human, you'd think she would have been the one who was a little more sympathetic to Cerberus than Caden.
That's what I was going to say, but I guess she draws a line somewhere, and Caden's just a nicer guy in general, isn't he? He's... I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. In Mass Effect 1, Kaiden's trying to make friends with everybody.
Down.
Team member has gone dark.
But at the same time, if you're a female Shepard, he just takes everything the wrong way.
If you ever want to hear the funniest dialogue ever, though, next time you play Mass Effect 1, bring Rex and Ashley.
Got it. Shields
Just
down.
want to kill the Rachni. It's just hilarious that if you bring those two specific people, it forces Ashley to defend not killing them.
Yeah, I mean, I do understand their logic with that system. Like, the most renegade person would say the renegade thing, but things like that are a bit weird.
Mission accomplished.
Clear.
Enemy is
I think if there's one cutscene I could have gotten from anything from the comics or book novel, though, I just would have loved to have seen the fight between Lang and Anderson in his apartment, where Anderson gets his ass kicked, but then Lang lets him live and eats all the cereal, then pees in his flower pots.
Oh my god, does that actually happen?
In the novels, that happens.
Down.
Lang actually lets Anderson leave and then stays behind in his apartment,
I owe ya.
eats all this cereal. That's where the Kai Lang cereal memes come from, if you've ever seen one. And then before he leaves, he pisses in all his flower pots.
What writer thought that was a good idea? Just thought, I know what's mature and makes Kai Lang intimidating.
Well, you could always, I think Kai Lang did all the intimidation he needed just for what he did to Arya's daughter.
Need ammo.
To whose daughter? Arya's.
Arya's daughter.
Didn't know she had one.
She's dead by Mass Effect 3, I think.
Yeah, she is. I don't know, are spoilers okay, or do you not want me to say what happened?
Well, I know she's dead anyway, so...
When Lang's team is looking for Grayson, they find him, or they find his apartment on Omega. And when Lang's team gets there, Arya's daughter happens to be with him because the two of them are dating. And long story short, when Lang breaks in,
That's it.
they were in bed together, and she got hit with a paralytic dart that made her still aware but unable to move. And while his team was ransacking the apartment, he slit her throat with a kitchen knife, deep enough to be fatal but shallow enough as to take a while. And then he just casually stood by eating cereal and watching her bleed out to make sure she was dead.
The whole eating cereal thing just seems sweet to me as well.
Well, I mean, breakfast cereal. Who doesn't like breakfast cereal?
Yeah, but there's certain villains where that's like a menacing thing, where they take murder so casually, but Kai Lang doesn't seem to be that kind of person, or he doesn't seem to be in the third game.
Akuzi wants to know if it's the same apartment that Anderson gives you in Mass Effect 3 DLC, the Dell.
So when Lang fights Anderson in the novel's called Deception, I believe, that's the apartment you get in Mass Effect 3. The apartment in the book Redemption is on Omega, and you never see it in the game.
Even though I know Anderson says some questionable things, though, I think the good things he does for Shepard outweighs that, you know, because he gives Shepard his apartment, and you know, he does the honourable thing of staying behind on Earth as well to help people.
Enemies down. Good shooting.
He also almost gets everyone in Grissom Academy killed twice.
Enemies inbound.
I still
that's
need
a
to make
book
that
thing.
video.
Yeah, that's a book thing.
I do wonder how much involvement the game has actually having those books.
I would hope quite a bit, but I'm not sure.
Nice shot. Him out.
Oh, someone right behind me. Look.
Hey. I'm hit. Shields down.
Lavender Sky says it's not as nice as the apartment you get from Pinnacle Station DLC.
That apartment did have a really nice view. I'll give it that.
And you could get the decent weapons for the most powerful weapons in the game for like a fraction of the price.
Which was always useful because by that point in the game, you have more credits than you could ever possibly spend.
Yeah, I only ever got as far as getting the really good weapon in that DLC. I never actually got the apartment because I didn't actually know it existed.
That final mission is a proper nightmare.
Yeah, that mission's hard on normal, never mind insanity.
Shields down.
Yeah, it's a shame that they couldn't add it to the Legendary Edition, because that would just make it a complete package, wouldn't it? I really think
I'm glad.
they should remake it, like just side mission. If it takes them a year or something, just remake it and then release it as free DLC or something.
Well, the thing with Pinnacle Station, though, is that was actually made by Demiurge Studios, so I don't even know if they're still around, so I don't know if they could. They probably could still make it, but I'm not sure if there's like a licensing thing or there or not.
BioWare, well, they could make something similar, couldn't they? Probably always make the same. I suppose it wouldn't have to be. I suppose it's not really the complete package if they change it.
Nice work.
Yeah, and also I think when you start making changes to like missions and things, you're starting into territory where fans start asking for a different Mass Effect 3 ending and stuff.
Still, people are upset about that.
I do understand why now. I mean, when I first played, I didn't quite get why people were mad, but I do understand why. Like, it's a very big information dump at the end of the game.
I would mostly just like to ask all the people who are still super upset about that what they would have done. Because a lot of people love to say they hate it, but I've never heard anyone say, oh, I would have done this instead.
See, for me, it's all the way through the game. Shepard, the only thing that Shepard ever talks about is stopping the Reapers and killing the Reapers and your machines, and you can be broken. And so for me, the only ending is destroy. It's I don't understand why he would then, change his mind at the last instant and go, oh, yeah, okay, I'll take control of him instead.
Well, it's the realization about, like, killing Orson Bex, isn't it? Like, because you're killing Idiot as well, and if you've saved the Geth and grown to like them, then you're killing them.
But yeah, I always pick Destroy, and I'm quite happy with the ending. It makes it complete. So that's exactly what the set up to do. And I'll just headcanon that they can rebuild the BD and.
They probably could, but then you're also going into territory as if they'll be the same. Like if you see, virtual intelligence beings or AI as true individuals.
Yeah.
Well, because EDI was made with Reaper parts too, so.
Yeah, that made it quite unique, didn't it?
Curtis says, where is Pinnacle Station? You don't remember playing part of it. It's not in the Legendary Edition, it's only in the original. It's an original DLC.
If you mean where specifically it is in the original, it's in the Argus Row Cluster.
But yeah, I do think it's good that they at least explained why they couldn't put it in the Legendary Edition.
Oh, and if anyone owns Mass Effect 1 on Steam, the original, both the DLCs are free on it.
This place is
That's
full
quite
of
good.
enemy intel.
Is that from your friend?
Find that data terminal and gain access.
Sorry?
Is that from your friend?
Oh no, it's just I found because I owned Mass Effect 1 on Steam for forever, but never had the DLCs. And then one day I was just looking through the community page, and I was like, oh, the DLCs are both free here.
Understood.
But to finish your point, Tim, on the destroy ending, I think, yeah, the games do build up for 3 games that you want to destroy the Reapers, but I think it's more the realization at the end that there are other options that might give Shepard pause.
Yeah. Yeah, I can appreciate that.
I do also understand why people are hesitant to pick something like Control, especially when you realise that was the Elusive Man's goal and what happened to him.
I mean, he came really close to succeeding as well. Really close. I mean, his methods were brutal, but...
I mean, he was very indoctrinated by the end of it, though.
Well, that's the thing, is if he had, because he started getting indoctrinated as soon as his eyes changed. So, I mean, if he had avoided that explosion, I mean, who knows, maybe he could have stayed sane, and because Sanctuary proved it was possible to control the Reapers.
Yeah. This is, I understand why people got upset about the ending, but they thought it was fine, since sometimes in life, no matter what choices you made, it still doesn't matter. Lavender Sky always goes
See
with
the big-
Control.
Sorry, finish your thought?
Lavender Sky always goes with Control. Whereas I always go with Destroy, Lavender Sky always goes to control the Reapers.
I always pick Control too, and not just because I think Cerberus is right. I just think more than that, it's the only option that leaves everything as is. The other ones, you're either killing all the Geth and EDI, or you're forcing a big change on trillions and trillions of people. The Control ending leaves everything as is, and then you can just figure it out. And as long as you trust your Shepard to not be an idiot, I mean, what's wrong? It seems like it works out well.
There's,
Yeah, it also means that... Sorry, I was just going to say, like, if Shepard's controlling the Reapers as well, then Shepard can choose to destroy the AI if it gets out of hand.
So there's been some new theories. I don't know if it's new theories, but new theories that I've heard on the trailer, and that the Reaper that's in the background isn't a dead Reaper. It's a Reaper that's kind of standing there, like waiting for orders. People are now saying, well, maybe Destroy isn't going to be the canon ending, and they're kind of, look, it could be this or it could be this.
Yeah,
Hi there, Nico.
I
Nice
suppose
to
it
see you.
I suppose it could be sleeping or something, couldn't it? Sort of like how Sovereign did.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even realise I was on wave 11. Oh, can we squeeze one more in for 10 minutes? We drop it down to a bronze.
Yeah, I have nothing planned. I can do one more if you want.
Yeah, I can do it if it's bronze.
Let's do a bronze one for the final one. I didn't even realise we were supposed to get into the extraction on that last one. I was busy reading the chat.
I almost got there to revive you, but the pyro stepped on you just as I started shooting. Well, if we're doing one more quick one, I'll be my my headcanon Cerberus character's girlfriend.
Even in Cerberus, they can find love.
Yeah, I'm a super nerd, and just because I'm so into RPGs, I kind of wrote like a little short backstory for every character in the multiplayer I unlocked.
Well, that's cool. To be honest, I did kind of start a fan fiction on it once. Like I thought about doing like a little side story focusing on two kids who are trying to escape Earth during the start of the Reaper invasion, and they wind up working with Cerberus out of desperation. But I didn't end up doing too much with it in the end because I just couldn't get the pacing of it right.
Danger Zone's just sort of like replaying this game. So much fun. Then always goes destroy. And Akozo, so sorry, always switches between destroy and synthesis. I've done them all. I did control and synthesis just to see what happened and see what they liked, but I didn't do it for me. Honest.
Synthesis seems relatively happy, but to me it feels like playing God, so I'm kind of a Cerberus guy on the control.
Yeah, it's I think they wanted the synthesis ending to be the quote-unquote happy ending, but I just can't imagine. Like, to me, I would be fine with that, but I'm sure there are several people who would not want that change forced on them.
It does make you wonder as well, because people like David Archer's brother was just overwhelmed when he was merged with the Geth. What was it, like the Geth program or something?
Yeah, I think that was slightly different circumstances, but yeah, I take your point.
Well done, team. That's it. Enemy is regrouping.
Sorry.
I'd be more curious to know if anyone in the chat picks the shoot the kid ending.
Force approaching.
Again, tried it once. Didn't like it.
I saw one person. I saw one person in the playthrough do it by accident, and they stuck with it. They didn't reload or anything, and I'm just like, "What? You're just gonna let all this time you spent go towards that? Everyone's dead."
I will admit it is kind of cool at the end to see that little time capsule thing Liara has actually get put to use.
Outstanding work. Enemy is still
That is
active.
very cool.
Stay
Yeah,
alert.
I still think it would be great if they put that in your game.
Danger Zone's, anybody played the unofficial multiplayer maps? I didn't know there were some.
So the drone will go dark again. Nearing the upload site. Keep that path open.
Didn't only watch somebody shoot the kid. Actually done it themselves.
I honestly think the person I watched do that ending didn't realise that they killed everybody, because they don't make it entirely clear, do they? They kind of just do the little recording at the end, and if you're not paying too much attention to what Liara is saying, then
I think probably 90% of the people, actually probably more than 90% of the people do it by accident.
yeah. I have thought about doing a playthrough where I end it like that, but it just doesn't feel like enough of a payoff. Especially if you're going through all 3 games to lead up to it.
Well, maybe if you're a nihilist.
Yeah, maybe if you side with maybe if you're just with the Reapers from the start for some reason.
Enemy is regrouping.
Well, Shepard does have Reaper bits in them from Mass Effect 2 onwards.
I know, but that's like doing an awful lot of stuff against the Reapers to then just turn out to be a spy for them.
Well, that's basically what Cerberus does.
Fair point.
What's that?
Clean sweep. Well done. Enemy is regrouping.
I think I must be
Time to
far
reload.
too used to silver. I used to struggle with bronze before, and now it seems like we're just walking through it.
Yeah. It's nice to get some practice on the harder difficulties. It's weird saying that, but I still certainly can do bronze like solo like some people can.
Oh, I don't think I can do it solo, but not go that far.
Just play as a Geth Juggernaut, basically, and kill them.
Ah, that was a bit rude.
Yeah, the big Geth is immune to one-hit kills, so it's literally impossible, pretty much, to lose on bronze.
Oh, I'm sure I'd prove it possible.
Lynx just said that we shouldn't jinx ourselves. I did think that as that guy just went and stepped on Cerberus guy.
50% capability.
I could have used a meta gel, but I had faith in you guys.
I'll let you down.
Your mission is to find and disable the targets.
I don't know if you guys have seen or if I've actually mentioned it before, but there are mods to like have new enemies that are like indoctrinating Cholases and stuff. And it's also like very interesting to see because you don't see the non-council races as Reaper forces, do you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same mod, but there's a guy I watch on Twitch who was playing with a mod that had some kind of collector things in the third game. It was pretty interesting, but I can't remember what it was.
Neutralized. Targets neutralized. Good work.
Did you cut out there? I don't think I heard the end of that.
If only Perry could see you now, friend. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I've gone down once since I've out of her.
Doesn't look like it.
You're improving, Tim.
Enemies down. Good shooting. Enemy is regrouping. Time to reload. Here they come.
I know they said they can't do mod support for the consoles for the original trilogy, but do we know if they can do mod support for Andromeda on consoles? If it's possible.
Don't think so.
I don't think so, but I've never tried. Because like I said, I lost my PlayStation. I used to own Andromeda on PS4, but then, like I said, I lost all my stuff when I moved to Canada.
Where are you originally from? Well, probably the States.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Ah! I hate the Banshees.
Stay alert. Enemy is regrouping.
Still less annoying than Scions.
Here they come. Copy that.
Wave 8. So
don't think you
we've flown
can-
through this. Flown through it.
Yeah. I don't think you see sounds at all in the pretty useful being the Vanguard as well, Tim, because you can just recharge your shields.
Clean sweep. Well done. Enemy is regrouping.
Can I?
Or if you charge into them, it recharges your shields.
Enemies approaching.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, either 50% or 100%, depending how you build it. But as long as you hit something, it restores your shields, at least a little.
Good to know.
Yeah, I only realised it, to be honest, when I googled the best way to get through Insanity in Mass Effect 3. And they basically just said, just go with Vanguard and fully upgrade it.
Or you could be a Sentinel and max your tech armor and then take Defense Matrix as your bonus power.
Don't think I've tried that.
Yeah, that was the first time I played Mass Effect 2 on Insanity. I was a Sentinel and took the Geth shield boost with my tech armor. You could have like 1,000 shields, it's hilarious.
Can't find anybody.
Because I've got all of them, Tim.
Oh, I see. Taking them all on yourself here.
Well, I am Krogan.
Thanks, Curtis.
I'm using a Krogan SMG, does that count?
Enemy is still active. Stay alert.
Well, if you can headbutt someone and not break your head.
We have a classified package from a downed ship in your area. Find it and bring it in. Nice job. Get back to the extraction zone. Object has been recovered. Nice job. We have an opportunity to snag some lost Reaper technology. Retrieve it and bring it in. Get back to the extraction zone.
Oh no, squashed.
Team member offline. We need the object empties. Object recovered. Good work. Squad member needs help.
Oh, what's going on here?
Stay alert.
Curtis says I love it when Grunt sometimes says that
Rendezvous for extraction.
I'm worthless during the battle of Mass Effect 2. I mean, Shepard's worthless.
I think you need to put run more often, but I'm not being fair enough.
I know if you save more and then use her and Grunt together, they have some very hilarious, unique dialogue.
I'm going to save Morris for my next playthrough. I've never done it. Run away, run away, run away. Yeah, because I haven't realised that you can unlock her dominant mind ability.
Well, yeah, that's her bonus power instead of... What's Samara get? Reeve, I think? I never saved Samara. I honestly can't remember what her bonus power is.
I just don't really use Samara, so...
Giovanni says the worst character is Jacob, 100%.
Understandable.
I think that's going to bring us round full circle as well, because that's how we started the conversation with it this evening.
Well, I know Jacob definitely has the worst loyalty mission.
I mean, it makes you feel bad about him for having such a terrible father, but, you know, it's just as interesting as he gets, really, because he doesn't talk much about his personal life.
I just think they could have kept the premise for what his loyalty mission was, but made it a lot more interesting.
How do you mean?
Well, the whole working it around something to do with his dad's ship crashing, like, that's an interesting premise. But then the payoff of it just being his dad running a harem was kind of like, really? That's what you did?
Well, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
How can you not?
Wow, that felt like it only took 5 minutes.
I mean, it might have.
Does that mean one more last one, or you guys gotta go?
No, I'm going to have to call it there, I'm afraid. But yeah, that was fun. That was the last one.
Yeah, it's fun when we don't die.
Yeah, that was fun.
No, yeah, thank you very much for coming, everybody. Giovanni, nice to see you. Kuzu, great for the chat. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you for coming. Jumpy Popcorn, you're in the back there somewhere. Lynn, brilliant. Thank you very much for being here. And who else was in there? There's Lavender Sky as well. And Nico turned up in the last few minutes. And of course, Gabriel as well. So, and anybody else that's in there too that's not been chatting, thank you ever so much. We'll be back again next Saturday at 9 PM UK time. I think is around about 4 PM Eastern. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's 2 PM for me, and I'm Mountain Time.
There you go, 2 PM Mountain Time. So thank you very much, and thanks for the game, Cerberus Guy, and Takes to Know. Been great hanging out with you as always. And if you want to carry on the chat, we've got Discord. There's a link down below in the description. So come hang out, and we'll see you there. Until next week, bye for now.